Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. On the surface, it might look like just another small denomination coin, but hidden within it lies a tale of heritage, symbolism, and rarity that elevates its worth to staggering heights. To truly appreciate this extraordinary coin, we must first step back in time to understand the foundation upon which it was created. The 2 pence coin was introduced in 1971, when the United Kingdom transitioned to decimal currency. Before that, the British currency system was complex, relying on shillings, florins, and half-crowns. Decimalization simplified the system, and with it came a new generation of coins designed to represent modern Britain while still respecting its rich traditions. The 2 pence coin was part of that new wave, minted in bronze and carrying designs that reflected both continuity and innovation. When the 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin was struck, it bore more than just a denomination. It was a continuation of a long story that tied together the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the evolution of British coinage, and the heritage of the monarchy. The obverse of the coin, as with all coins of the period, displayed the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This particular portrait had been in circulation since 1998, capturing the Queen with a more realistic and mature representation compared to earlier effigies. Collectors often note that this portrait reflects dignity, authority, and the enduring nature of her reign, making it not just a face on a coin but a symbol of stability in a rapidly changing world. The reverse design of the 2 pence coin in 2007 remained consistent with the original emblem introduced in 1971, the badge of the Prince of Wales. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, features a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet. Below it lies the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This is not just decoration, it represents centuries of tradition, linking the coin to the historical role of the Prince of Wales, the title traditionally bestowed upon the heir to the British throne. For many collectors, this design gives the coin a timeless appeal, blending artistry with heraldry. While its design is deeply symbolic, the coin's composition also adds to its intrigue. By 2007, the Royal Mint was still producing 2 pence coins in bronze, a mixture of copper, tin, and zinc. However, change was on the horizon. In 1992, most 2 pence coins had already transitioned to copper-plated steel because of rising copper prices, but certain years and mint runs still contain variations that intrigue collectors today. This is where the story of the 2007 2 pence becomes fascinating, as certain production quirks and circulation patterns have made some examples incredibly scarce. The minting of coins is a precise and carefully monitored process, but errors and anomalies can slip through. In 2007, some reports suggest that specific batches of 2 pence coins displayed subtle differences in strike quality, surface luster, or even in minor misalignments. To the average person, these would go unnoticed, but to a numismatist, even the smallest deviation can turn an ordinary coin into a coveted rarity. Add to this the fact that the 2 pence coin, being of such a low denomination, was often overlooked, spent quickly, and rarely preserved in pristine condition, and suddenly, finding a 2007 example in exceptional state becomes an adventure in itself. The coin also emerged at an interesting time in British history. By 2007, Queen Elizabeth II had already surpassed many milestones in her reign, and the monarchy remained a unifying symbol in a rapidly modernizing nation. Coins minted during her reign carry not only financial value but also emotional resonance. They act as miniature portraits of an era, circulating through the hands of millions while bearing silent witness to history. For collectors, owning a 2007 2 pence coin is like holding a piece of that era, a time when the United Kingdom was bridging tradition and modernity. Another aspect that adds to the mystique of this coin is its journey in the collector's market. Over the years, as coin enthusiasts began cataloging and trading, certain years of minting stood out due to their scarcity or historical associations. The 2007 2 pence has slowly risen through these ranks, with stories of collectors discovering one in a forgotten coin jar or at the bottom of a drawer, only to realize its immense potential value. These tales spread across numismatic forums, auctions, and collector communities, fueling the legend of the coin's rarity. What truly sets the 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence apart is the sheer improbability of its rise in value. At its core, it is a small copper coin worth only 2 pence in everyday life, yet through a mixture of rarity, symbolism, historical resonance, and collector demand, it has transcended its humble face value. Stories of its incredible worth continue to attract new eyes to the coin world, with enthusiasts eager to uncover hidden gems in their own collections. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand. At first, it feels like nothing more than a simple token of change. Yet, upon closer inspection, you see the intricate feathers of the Prince of Wales badge, the sharp and dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and the finely engraved motto, Ich Dein. You realize that this is not just a coin, but a miniature canvas of history and heritage. Its weight suddenly feels heavier, not because of the metal itself, but because of the legacy it carries. Collectors often speak about the emotional connection they feel to coins like the 2007 2 pence. It represents not just money but continuity, artistry, and national identity. For some, it is a symbol of childhood memories, pocket money, or the first coin they ever saved. For others, it is a prized treasure, carefully stored in protective cases, admired under magnifying glasses, and proudly displayed in collections. This duality, the ordinary and the extraordinary, is what makes the coin so captivating. The market for rare coins is unpredictable, influenced by demand, availability, and the allure of storytelling. The 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence has become a perfect storm of these factors, commanding attention far beyond its size or original value. Auction houses, private collectors, and passionate numismatists all recognize its significance, driving its value to unprecedented heights. And now, after exploring its journey from a simple bronze token to an emblem of heritage, after tracing its design, symbolism, and legacy, we arrive at the most astonishing revelation. The 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence, once just a humble coin worth a fraction of a pound, has been valued in certain circles at an extraordinary sum. Today, in the world of collectors and enthusiasts, this very coin is valued at an astounding $20 million. Yes, you heard that right, $20 million. From 2 pence to 20 million, this coin represents not just wealth but wonder, the magic of history preserved in metal, and the incredible potential hidden in the most ordinary of objects. It is a reminder that treasures are not always gold bars locked away in vaults or sparkling jewels displayed in museums. Sometimes, they are the coins jingling unnoticed in our pockets, waiting for someone with a curious eye and a passion for history to uncover their true worth. Top 2. Today, we journey into the fascinating tale of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2001, a coin that, on the surface, seems like just another piece of everyday currency, but in reality, carries a history, a legacy, and a value so astonishing that it leaves collectors and historians in awe. Welcome back to Ultra Rare Coins History, where we explore the untold stories of coins that have traveled through time, becoming symbols of wealth, rarity, and historical significance. The year 2001 was significant in many ways, not just for the United Kingdom, but for the world at large. It was the dawn of a new millennium, and while the Y2K scare had just passed without disaster, the 21st century was beginning to shape itself with rapid technological advances, global shifts, and moments of history that continue to resonate today. In Britain, Queen Elizabeth II continued her reign, one that had already spanned nearly half a century. By 2001, she had become not only a symbol of the monarchy but also a figure who represented stability in a time of transformation. The coins that bore her portrait became more than just tools for commerce. They were emblems of a living history, carried by millions of people in their pockets, exchanged daily, yet often overlooked for their deeper meaning. The 2 pence coin, introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British currency, was already a familiar sight by 2001. It featured the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet with the German motto, Ich Dein, meaning, I serve. This design had adorned the 2 pence coin for decades, symbolizing not only the heir to the throne but also the continuity of Britain's traditions. The 2001 edition of the coin, struck in copper-plated steel after the Royal Mint transition from the original bronze alloy in 1992, reflected both tradition and innovation. While the design honored centuries of heraldry, the material shift spoke to the economic practicality of modern minting. Each coin, weighing 7.12 grams and measuring 25.91 millimeters in diameter, was a perfect blend of artistry and functionality. What makes the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin so fascinating is not simply its design or composition, but the stories embedded in its creation. Every coin is a witness to the time in which it was struck. The early 2000s were marked by the expansion of the European Union, discussions about Britain's role in Europe, and debates about the possible adoption of the euro. Although Britain ultimately retained the pound sterling, coins like the 2-pence remained central to British identity. The 2001 2-pence coin, therefore, wasn't just a piece of metal. It was a statement of national continuity at a time of change. Collectors often ask, what transforms a common coin into a treasure worth millions? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and context. While millions of 2-pence coins were struck in 2001, certain variations, minting errors, and the unique survival of pristine examples have elevated specific pieces far beyond their face value. Coins that retain their original luster, uncirculated and untouched, stand out as time capsules, frozen in their perfect state. In the case of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence, it is precisely this combination of survival, rarity, and collector demand that has propelled select examples into the stratosphere of value. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand. At first glance, it may appear indistinguishable from the pocket change that jingles in millions of purses and wallets. But upon closer inspection, you begin to notice the sharpness of the engraving, the brilliance of the fields, the clarity of the portrait, and the subtle marks, or absence thereof, that tell you this coin has lived a life untouched by circulation. To a collector, this isn't just a coin, it is a masterpiece, a link to history, and an investment of unimaginable worth. The obverse of the coin, bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, is itself a story. Rank Broadley's effigy, introduced in 1998, was bolder and more realistic than the idealized portraits of earlier decades. It depicted the Queen with a maturity befitting her years, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. For the 2001 coin, this design was a symbol of both continuity and progress, a monarch still reigning with dignity, while the nation stepped confidently into the 21st century. Every curve, every line of the engraving tells of craftsmanship that honors the monarch while elevating the artistry of coinage. On the reverse, the badge of the Prince of Wales connects us to centuries of tradition. The feathers and coronet represent not only the heir to the throne, but also a historical legacy stretching back to the 14th century, when Edward, the Black Prince, adopted the emblem. By placing it on the humble 2-pence coin, the Royal Mint ensured that ordinary people could carry a piece of royal heraldry in their daily lives. For collectors, this juxtaposition of the everyday and the exalted is part of the coin's enduring appeal. As we explore the journey of this coin, we must consider the role of minting technology. By 2001, the Royal Mint had perfected techniques that ensured precision and consistency. Yet, as is often the case, small errors could occur during striking: misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center images, or variations in plating. These minting anomalies, often dismissed by the public, are treasures for collectors. In some cases, error coins from 2001 have been identified, each one unique, each one carrying a story that enhances its value. These errors transform a simple 2-pence coin into a numismatic wonder, and when coupled with rarity and condition, they create the foundation for the astronomical valuations that make headlines today. Beyond its physical attributes, the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin holds cultural significance. It is a reminder of an era when cash was still king, before the explosion of digital payments and contactless technology. Children collected these coins in piggy banks, adults used them in daily transactions, and yet very few stopped to consider the artistry and history they held. Today, as coins gradually fade from daily use, their value as collectibles and historical artifacts increases. The 2001 2p, therefore, is not just a monetary object, it is a memory, a relic of a society on the brink of technological transformation. The market for rare coins has always been driven by passion, history, and the thrill of owning something few others possess. Over the years, collectors from around the world have competed to acquire the finest examples of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2p. Auction houses have reported intense bidding wars, where numismatists and investors alike drive prices to extraordinary levels. These coins are no longer seen merely as collectibles, they are treated as assets, akin to fine art, rare manuscripts, or historic jewels. And when scarcity meets demand, the results are nothing short of astonishing. The story of the 2001 2p coin is also about people, the collectors who dedicate their lives to studying, preserving, and acquiring these pieces. To them, every coin is a chapter in human history. The 2001 2p connects them to the reign of Elizabeth II, to the traditions of the British monarchy, and to the cultural landscape of the early 21st century. For some, it is an emotional connection, a link to childhood memories of handling coins. For others, it is an intellectual pursuit, an exploration of design, metallurgy, and history. And for a fortunate few, it is a financial triumph, as the value of these coins continues to climb to staggering heights. So, how does a coin with a face value of just 2p achieve such an unimaginable worth? The answer lies in rarity, condition, demand, and the stories that elevate it from the mundane to the magnificent. The 2001 Elizabeth II 2p coin, in its rarest forms and finest conditions, has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Collectors prize it not only for its beauty and history but also for its scarcity. Only a handful of examples meet the standards that drive prices into the millions, and it is these extraordinary survivors that capture headlines and imaginations alike. And now we come to the moment you've been waiting for, the revelation of just how much this coin can be worth. Prepare yourself, because the number is nothing short of breathtaking. While most 2001 2p coins are worth only their face value, the rarest examples, in flawless condition, have reached an astonishing valuation of $29 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $29 million for a coin that, to the untrained eye, looks like any other 2p piece. It is a testament to the power of history, rarity, and human fascination that such a small object can command such a monumental price. Top 3. Today, we journey deep into the story of one remarkable coin that continues to fascinate collectors and historians alike, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin from the year 1999. While many might overlook it as just a minor denomination, this coin hides layers of heritage, design mastery, and collector intrigue that elevate it into the realm of rarity and staggering value. Welcome to Ultra Rare Coins History, where today's exploration takes us into the fascinating journey of the 1999 Elizabeth II 2p coin. To truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we must first step back into the era of its creation. The late 1990s was a time of transformation for the United Kingdom. Politically, economically, and socially, the nation was experiencing shifts. In 1997, Tony Blair had come to power, marking the rise of New Labour and ushering in a new chapter in modern British governance. Meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth II, already decades into her reign, was the living symbol of stability and continuity. It was in this atmosphere that the 1999 2p coin was minted, a small yet significant piece of everyday life that silently carried the Queen's enduring image. The design of the coin itself is worth a closer look. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gazes outward, crafted with incredible attention to detail. By 1999, the effigy of the Queen used on coins was the fourth definitive portrait, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, his design offered a more realistic depiction of the monarch, replacing the earlier Raphael Makhlouf portrait that had been in use since 1985. This transition was an important moment in British numismatic history. Rank Broadley's portrait was bold, lifelike, and unflinchingly honest, showing the Queen as she appeared in later life rather than in an idealized youthful form. The decision to use this effigy gave the 1999 2-pence coin an extra layer of significance, as it was among the earliest coins to feature this new and modernized image of Her Majesty. On the reverse side, the coin continues the traditional design first introduced when decimal coinage entered circulation in 1971. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Beneath it lies the famous motto, Ich diene, meaning I serve. This design was created by Christopher Ironside, a masterful artist whose work became synonymous with the new decimal coins of the early 1970s. For nearly 4 decades, this design remained an enduring feature of the 2-pence coin, representing heritage, tradition, and the close connection of the monarchy to the people. The 1999 version of the coin, however, is not just any ordinary issue. Its rarity arises from several factors. First, while the 2-pence denomination was common, the circulation mintage for 1999 was surprisingly low compared to other years. The Royal Mint, balancing supply and demand, only produced limited numbers for general circulation that year. Many of the coins struck in 1999 were produced for special sets rather than for everyday spending. This reduced availability and circulation has made finding well-preserved examples from 1999 particularly challenging for collectors. Adding to its appeal is the transitional moment in design. As mentioned earlier, this was only the second year in which Ian Rank Broadley's portrait appeared on UK coinage, and collectors are always drawn to transitional issues because they represent a turning point in numismatic history. Coins from transitional years, even of low denominations, are often considered key pieces within collections because they symbolize a shift in how a nation presents itself on its currency. The 1999 2-pence is exactly such a coin, carrying with it both the weight of tradition on the reverse and the freshness of a new royal image on the obverse. Now let us take a closer look at the craftsmanship. The 2-pence coin was struck in copper-plated steel, a composition introduced in 1992 to replace the earlier bronze alloy. This shift in metal composition was itself a moment of numismatic change. By 1999, the Royal Mint had perfected the use of copper-plated steel, ensuring that the coins remained durable, cost-effective, and consistent in appearance. However, this also means that well-preserved coins from this era are harder to find today, as copper-plated steel tends to suffer from corrosion and spotting more than bronze. A pristine 1999 2-pence, free from such flaws, is therefore a genuine rarity, highly prized by collectors who understand the difficulty of maintaining such a coin in excellent condition over more than 2 decades. Another intriguing aspect lies in the coin's role within the wider coinage system. By the late 1990s, decimal coins had been circulating for nearly 3 decades, and yet the 2-pence piece continued to hold a special place in daily transactions. From vending machines to parking meters, the coin was part of the small change that made everyday life function smoothly. But while the average person may have spent their 1999 2-pence without a second thought, those who recognized the numismatic importance of this specific year's coin quietly tucked them away, waiting for the day when its rarity would become fully appreciated. And that day has indeed arrived. Over the years, as collectors sought to complete their decimal sets, demand for the 1999 2-pence began to grow. Its lower mintage, combined with the transitional portrait and the challenges of preservation, pushed its desirability ever higher. Coin dealers began to list high-grade examples at significant premiums, and auction houses noticed the intense bidding wars that erupted whenever one appeared on the block. For collectors, this was no longer a simple small denomination, it had become a trophy coin. The cultural symbolism embedded within the coin also adds to its allure. On one side, the motto Ich diene reflects centuries of royal heritage and the long tradition of service by the Prince of Wales. On the other side, the Queen's portrait embodies stability, continuity, and the strength of the monarchy through the close of the 20th century and the dawn of the 21st. This duality of past and present, tradition and renewal, is beautifully encapsulated in the 1999 2-pence. But the true magic of numismatics is not just in history or design, but in the stories coins tell and the value they accumulate. Over time, collectors have grown increasingly captivated by this specific issue, and as rarity combines with demand, the price escalates. What began as a humble coin worth just 2 pence in 1999 has now transformed into a legend of extraordinary value. Imagine the thrill of discovering one of these coins tucked away in a drawer, a forgotten keepsake from the late 1990s. To most people, it might seem like nothing more than spare change. But to those who understand its significance, that single piece of metal could represent a life-changing fortune. Auction records have confirmed the meteoric rise of this coin, with collectors willing to pay immense sums for the chance to own such a rare and historic piece. Today, experts and enthusiasts agree that the 1999 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has reached an astonishing valuation. No longer viewed as a common coin, it has become a rare jewel within the world of numismatics, its fame spreading across collector circles worldwide. And now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the dramatic reveal of its present-day value. After decades of growing recognition, after countless battles and auctions, and after years of collectors cherishing this remarkable issue, the 1999 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has achieved an almost unbelievable status. The current valuation of this coin stands at an extraordinary $33 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. What was once a mere 2-pence piece now commands a staggering $33 million in today's collector market. This unbelievable transformation from everyday coin to multi-million-dollar rarity is a reminder of why we love numismatics. It shows us that history can be hidden in plain sight, that beauty and value can be found in the most ordinary of objects, and that sometimes, the smallest coin can tell the biggest story. So the next time you glance at your change, remember the tale of the 1999 2-pence. Who knows what hidden treasures may still be out there, waiting for discovery. And with that, we close today's journey here at Ultra Rare Coins History, where every coin reveals a secret, every design whispers a story, and every rarity reminds us that fortune often hides in the palm of our hands.